Holy crap, an entire year. I went to go vote in your merch and they allowed me to vote 10 more times. Connor 6 frog dance.
Just realized I was muted for the past minute as I did a whole bit. What's going on, everybody? I just read all these. Just believe me, I read the subs. I read the subs. I swear to God. I read them. So thank you for the subs. I actually read all of you guys. So thank you. We dropped below 2K subs, so we need to get those numbers up, guys. It's been a month since Fortnite Friday. We got to get these numbers up, or else I got to get a real job. Thank God, the only white guy I want to tell me if I lose my rights or not is doing coverage. I just belted out laughing. Let's go, bro. I glow sharp. I like salt. Thank you. Your title is from last stream. No, I changed it. No, I fixed it, actually. You're wrong, actually. No, actually, fuck you. Wait, where's my live chat for YouTube? Did they take away my YouTube chat privileges? There they are. Okay, thank God. Not that I read it anyways. Connor, you won the popular vote. Someone said that RFK is 0.75% of the vote. If he ends up costing Trump the election, that's really funny. And I believe he could, low-key, because, like, I spoke before this stream. This past weekend, I interacted with some people from Georgia I've not spoken to in a long time, just gauging where their politics are at, knowing they were likely in the bag for Trump. Just kind of feeling it out. On 2 separate occasions from 2 different guys, I heard I'm voting for RFK. And then did not inform them that he dropped out and endorsed Trump. So I'm not, this is not a lie. This has happened. So he might actually end up being a factor today. How many voter frauds have you conducted? I voted 8 times. I voted 8 times for Kamala Harris. In multiple different swing states under different names. It's gonna be fun, dude. It's gonna be a big day. Gotta get those numbers up. I'm a rookie, bro. I'm new to this.
I voted 10 times for Super.
Yeah, Super better get his vote in today, bro. I wrote in Joe Exotic, free him. No, he actually does need to be freed. ConnorEatsPants archive. Wait, RFK dropped out?
So far, it's so
Dude, I love like the Google search results, like who is running for president? Who are the candidates this year? This is who decides the election. You have to remember this. Like, this is literally who decides it. Is the people like that. This is the world we live in. Who's the broad? That's Kamala Harris, and she may be our next president. Your title is actually wrong. I'm not trolling. Bro, I updated it on YouTube. What are you talking about? Oh, wait, you're right. It did change back. What the fuck?
Voted 52 times for Kamala in Michigan, and now I'm going to drink a bottle of wine. Wine glass.
Election day stream. Google, what are Democrats and Republicans? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Jamie, pull up the NBC News broadcast. Jamie, pull it up.
We have been here all day long. We've been watching the line at Temple University. As a matter of fact, it used to stretch all the way down to the next avenue over here. Now the line, which was about 2.5 hours long, is quickly moving.
I voted for Hamas. You voted for Hamas. It's an insane vote, dude.
Here at Temple University,
I can't be the president.
1,703 different election divisions all across the city of Philadelphia. That's the same jurisdiction as the county of Philadelphia. 700 polling places. About 500,000 people were expected to vote in person today. Some of those students who had been waiting 2.5 hours are quickly inside right now. As you can see, they're coming out at a pace that we haven't seen all day after they added those 2 machines you referenced.
So in 20 minutes, we'll have our first look at some early results.
But of course, until all the ballots are cast and counted, we won't know that for sure, Lester.
All right, Jacob, thanks. All right, well, we're right over here at
We
the
only
big
watch
board.
Steve
270. We mentioned it is the
Who's that?
magic
Steve
number
Pernat? Who's
tonight.
that again?
That is what it will take to win
That
the White
the
House.
election map guy for NBC?
They have multiple paths to get to that magic number. So let's get back to Tom Yamas at the big board because this is the big picture. Here's the map. The gray areas of the battleground
Stop the
states,
count. He's
and there
up
are
10%.
various ways to get to that magic number of 2.
Stop
and
counting.
This is how we ended up at the end of election week in 2020. As you mentioned, those battleground states, we haven't colored them in yet.
Stop counting.
Biden, he won 6 of those 7 battleground states. So the easiest path for the vice president
So here's the plan today for today's stream. Let's turn on the cam for this.
If she does that,
I'm not showered, not clean. I got back from working out.
But if she's having a terrible night tonight and there's an emergency, she doesn't win Wisconsin.
We're gonna be live for like an hour, 2 hours, perhaps 3.
She has an emergency
Probably
route
not
through the
3.
Sun Belt. If she can win Nevada, win Arizona, remember Biden won
I'm gonna cover the
Georgia
election as best I can. We're gonna have a good time and laugh until around 6 p.m. my time. I will leave. That's in about 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Let's talk about the Donald Trump path.
And leave and get away as a good quarter of the chat room questions whether or not they have rights. And that's the best way we can do it here. We're going to smile and laugh until it gets too real. And then you guys can take your edibles and eat some substances and have a good time tonight.
Makes a crack in the blue wall. If he wins Michigan,
that's how we're going to do it.
Holds North Carolina, he flips Georgia. He can do it with just
Nevada. How is Emeru at 18K viewers and not covering the election? It's infuriating. She's beautiful, dude. It's why I have 18 billion viewers and when I'm not covering the election either.
And that's what we're going to be doing tonight.
The secret of this world.
Tonight, maybe tomorrow.
Canadian chatter here. Shout out to the Canadians in the chat.
Lester, let's go over to you.
You two are terribly optimistic.
I was a bit annoyed that Emeru wasn't covering the election, though. I will, as an Emeru fan, I was a wee bit disappointed that she's staying out of the politics today.
We just talked about are real.
Absolutely, Lester.
Where's the coverage?
First of all, let's talk
How will
about
the results of this election affect the outcome of my deadlock match? Probably not very much, bro.
Big stories of this election. We've seen it in polling leading up to tonight. Vice President Kamala Harris has a significant lead with women voters. Former President Donald Trump has a real lead with male voters. So we'll be watching those early
women would vote for the woman. Giggy, thank you for 5 gifted, dude. Thank you, man.
On the ballot in 10 different states.
Let's get back to 2K subs, guys. We're about 1,000 subs away from the sub goal.
My fellow Americans, thank you for voting for me. I'm so addicted to be the president.
Someone gift 100 subs. Oh my God, Joe Biden.
This was a Democratic
Joe Biden, thank you. Thank you for the dono, bro. Nice, easy day for Joe today, dude. You don't got to worry about shit. You don't even got to worry about it.
For Democrats early on in the evening. And then this is a really fascinating one, Lester.
And I wrote you in my ballot, I hope you win. I don't really want to be the president.
You had 17 states.
Low key, I think I'd be a good one, though. I thought about that. Like, I was like, no, I don't want to be president, I want to be president. But I was like, nah, I could do it better. Like, I think I could, low key. Like, I actually do. What would you do first? Arrest Netanyahu?
Closings are about to start in 7 o'clock Eastern time, including in the battleground of Georgia. And if you've ever wondered how we're able to call some of these races so quickly, stay put. We're going to take you inside. We'll show you how we do it right after.
What the fuck was that? The witch screamed at me.
By accident, so I didn't even have to pay a migrant.
Thank you, your Dylan, for the resub, and Banana, thank you. Thank you for that. You're cursed now. No, I'm no longer cursed. Tobuscus and Kyle just went live on Kick. Wait, are you FR? I wrote in Haley Welch. Gaming tonight? We might do the Kamala Harris Fortnite map after these first results come in. Dragon Ball soon? Dude, I hope... probably. Yeah, I mean, I said yes, I will. Although we did drop like 1,000 subs because of Fortnite Friday being a month ago. So, I could pull a like no, but I won't do that. Deadlock tonight? Not our fault. It actually is. This is a crowd-funded stream. It's just like you can't expect Kamala to win unless you donate $5 right now to the campaign. It's Kamala Harris here in your phone asking for $5. Give me $5, please. Is this the Game Awards? Similar concept. Dragon Ball stream if Kamala wins Georgia and Nevada. Yep. Rudy Giuliani shows up to vote in the Mercedes he was ordered to surrender. Please come on Fortnite Friday, Rudy. Rudy is yet to surrender any values or ordered to turn over. Aw, come on, man. Free him. Will this stream get you flagged for politics on Twitch? If I get flagged for anything on Twitch, the West has fallen. Literally, come on. Home Depot co-founder Bernie Marcus dies. Okay. He seems old. He was 95. He's claiming election fraud early, just like we said he would. This is a strong sign he realizes he's losing. Bro, he was gonna claim election fraud. What do you mean? Like, this is he was claiming it 6 months ago. Of course he's gonna be like, yeah, they're stealing it. He was before a single vote was cast, he's like, they're stealing it. I swear to God. Maricopa County, dude, I saw it. Happy I was able to fly in from Scotland and vote for Joe Biden 286. Hell yeah, bro.
Vote for Joe Biden 286 times.
He said he's sending his armies to Philadelphia and Detroit. I watched his rally last night, and like he mentioned like twice. It stood out to me because I'm like, what is his plan for like when he loses? And he said twice January 20th. He was like talking about January 20th, which is inauguration day. And so I fully believe that his new angle is going to be to like sabotage her inauguration. So keep an eye out for that. I would keep an eye out for that for sure. Because what else is he gonna do? When are we putting the body armor on? Stand back and stand by. That's my birthday? Okay. Congrats. My birthday's August 26th. He's gonna prank her. Oh, he's just gonna prank her. Oh, like a little party crash for the inauguration. Oh, he's just gonna have a little fun.
2 years.
Oh. There's no way that's your birthday? What, January 20th? For that chatter? Why is that? It's any day could be somebody's birthday. You know that, right?
Since you have gone live, I have decided until further notice I will not block everyone, throw my phone into a body of water and disappear into a forest for a week.
That's fair, Astroham. That's fair. Thoughts on the conservative martyr squirrel whose owner did OnlyFans? Can we get like any sort of context on the squirrel thing? All I know is like it's some conservative like issue or talking point, and I don't understand why anybody gives a fuck. It's conservative Harambe.
NBC News election night coverage. Vote tabulation centers across the country hard at work right now. You can see their election workers coast to
It's crazy how nobody gaffes
as they roll in on this historic night. One place that's speeding up its vote count system is Battleground, Michigan, with 15 electoral votes up for grabs. Jesse Kirsch is in Detroit, where people are still registering to vote. Jesse.
Gay dag not. What does that mean?
That's right, Lester. Our colleague Julia Jester.
What is, dude? There's a sign that says "gay" behind you, bro. It says "gay" behind you, man. You couldn't have picked a different angle, dude.
Outside of a polling location right now, which will still be open for a little bit more than an hour. Of course, people
are Kamala Harris's views too extreme? 52% said no, 45% yes. Well, that's good news for her.
The votes in, we should be getting the results potentially faster compared to 2020, as you alluded to. The Secretary of State says that we could have unofficial full results here in Michigan by around noon tomorrow.
She don't have views, lol. True. AI art in your thumbnail? Yeah.
Municipalities can pre-process absentee
yeah,
ballots.
I said Kamala Harris Fortnite skin and it made her a cop in front of this like Golden Gate Bridge. I was like, yeah, of course I'm using that.
In Detroit, obviously,
sorry.
a massive city.
This is the future you live in. If the little computer makes an image funny enough, I'm gonna do it. I don't know what to tell you.
Been pre-processed already, and so that will potentially accelerate the timeline compared to 2020.
New Fortnite shop at 4 p.m. Thanks, let me know, bro.
And misinformation and a lot of concern, and so that's something that we're gonna be watching.
You said on the Shadow Generations video that you would not be streaming past 4 p.m. on election day. Yeah, and then look at my sub count today, bro. Then we dropped below 2K subs, so things change. Did you see the Michigan I voted stickers? No, I didn't.
Multiple shifts potentially in the electorate we're watching for in this state. the war in Gaza, the situation in the Middle East, something that the substantial Arab American community
YouTube chatters, welcome to the stream. Hope you guys enjoy today's live coverage of the election. Yeah, I would appreciate it if you have Amazon Prime to tab over to Twitch and see if you could use a sub on me.
All right, Jesse, we waited till Wednesday
I'm going to try to be looking at you today.
Michigan's results. We'll see if they improve on that record. In about
I voted in Michigan and my polling station only had lame normal stickers. That sucks.
We'll make the first projections of the night. We've got Tom Yamas here to pull
back. Let's look at my tweets from yesterday. I was kind of going on a rampage on Twitter.
And you're going to give us a sneak peek.
Yeah, no, it's a great question, right? Because all through the night, you'll hear us projecting states, sometimes within minutes of polls closing, other times, as Savannah mentioned, days later. So tonight we wanted to give you an inside look to show you how our team makes those calls.
Tonight, election officials across the country on a mission to count millions of ballots. They then report out their tallies, where our decision
thanks for getting a sub, Shiny Pots. Appreciate that.
John Lipinski runs the decision desk.
We have zero tolerance for errors.
His job, project the winner in each race.
Yo, Nev, Fun Move, Datacon, thank you guys. Look at those primes. See, everybody's always got primes, bro. You just gotta ask. Thank you guys.
Just seconds after the polls closed at 7 p.m.
The president will easily carry.
So I had a couple of hits
so when viewers
on Twitter last night.
4 years ago, they saw we called Indiana.
I'll pull them all up.
7% of the vote in. How's that possible?
Turn on Steve Kornacki.
And actual real vote returns.
That exit poll data.
Where's Steve? Where's the Kornacki cam? Hold on. Can we get some music or something? Shut the fuck up, Tommy. You don't know shit, bro. Jay Goody, thank you for the prime. No views, Kornacki cam. Wait, he's not even live. No, he's live again. But the Kornacki stream is so mid. He just sits here with music in the background. Even my prime and not the son because you bullied me that he was rich. Yeah, no, you made the right call. He's literally rich. He would tell you to do the same. I think actually most of my friends would tell you the same, is to sub to me instead. They know how much I make. They know I suck at my job. They will literally tell you, do not sub to me, sub to Connor. Do your charity work. Ellen Prime subs coming in seems fishy. Nice forehead. Yeah, cool suggestion, dude. Maybe you would get more subs if you added back Connor6 noted. Probably not. But can someone send me the link to the image again and I'll add it back? I'm thinking about it. Doing live coverage. Hashtag Schlatt2020. Yes, bro. Yes, dude. Fuck yeah. He's the hottest political statistician. Statistician. Twitch subscription fraud. We love it. Is he really hot to like people? Dude, nerds are back. I put on those rounded glasses and people were saying I was hot now. I might just start wearing glasses with no prescription in them. I'm gonna just start doing it. I just stole a USPS truck full of ballots. LMAO. Let's go. You should drop election merch. I should just drop merch. I should like make money, but meh. Discord DMs. I think I got it. You drop merch in January. I did the hashtag Soros challenge. Dude, you did it? You hit Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin all in one day? Let's go, bro. Yo, good job, man. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. You'll be getting your t-shirt and your meal voucher in the mail real soon, man.
Connor6 Jow dance.
Hell yeah, dude. We love hearing that. Makes me so happy. Noted GIF. Honor6 noted. Wait, European here. How many hours till the result? We may not even get a result today. We really don't know. If it's a sweep, we might. If she went, if it comes in Georgia and North Carolina are already leaning her way, that's a very good sign that she might win. So that we could know pretty soon. Now, if he wins those pretty decisively, it's not over. But we're in for a night ahead of us. For sure. I hope she wins Iowa. Hope she wins your mom, bro. Are you watching Steve Kornacki, Minecraft Boy? Because the chatter complained. That's what I'm saying. This stream sucks, Steve. Put a girl on. How will this affect the FaZe house? I don't know. Connor, I just want to let you know, even though I'm Canadian, I crossed over to North Dakota today and voted for Kamala 23 times. Let's go, dude.
More Americans turn to NBC News than any other.
People talk about the thrill of like voting and like expressing your right. No one talks about how it works every time. And like when you vote multiple times, you feel happy every time. You get that rush it's better than like cocaine.
All right, we're back at 6:55.
Lester Holt.
We are just minutes away from the first poll closings of the night.
And that also means we are minutes away from our first calls of the night, including one of the biggest battlegrounds of all. At the top of the hour, the first polls close. Our decision desk able to make its first calls of the
I live in
night.
Pennsylvania. How do I register to vote, bro? I don't know if you still can. I don't know how Pennsylvania works. You probably fucked up.
Georgia.
The polls showing a race down to the wire. The state key to former
Kamala
President
just flipped the
Trump's
+10 Republican county in Indiana blue. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, the fix is in. We're doing it.
The path to the White House runs right through this state.
She opens up another path to the 270.
Wait, what if we steal it too much?
To take the White House.
Well, what if we stole it? What if it's too
for
obvious,
the first vote
guys?
count and new exit poll information from this critical battleground as our decision desk
I didn't
ready to
consider
make their
that.
first calls on the road to 270. So let's get to it. Who's ready to count some votes? Blaine Alexander is in Union City, Georgia for us tonight. Polls just about to close in that battleground. Hi, Blaine. What are you seeing?
Where's she at in Georgia? Union City? They're making cities up in Georgia since I moved, bro. Where the fuck is Union City?
County elections. This is the elections hub.
I ain't never heard of Union City in my life.
This is where we're going to see the tabulations. And I spoke with a top county official who tells me how this process will unfold through the night. Basically, what happens.
Where the fuck is Atlanta? No, I know where Atlanta is.
About 3 minutes from right now, poll managers are going to take the memory cards.
I heard that like Russia was like calling in bomb threats to like Georgia polling locations.
One of 7 check-in centers that spread throughout
Kinda
the county,
crazy.
and then all of that information, all of those things are going to come right here. It's going to be an interesting thing. We're going to see
like Aiden
each
Ross
one of those
viewers.
precinct managers walk in, escorted by a law enforcement officer to bring those memory cards and the paper ballots, and that's when the tabulation process will begin. Now, of course, the big question is
Watch the Kai Snatch stream. Shit is fire right now.
Now requires them to start
Hey, Connor
being
6 noted
uploaded.
should be back, by the
early
way.
voting ballots and the absentee ballots to be uploaded within an hour of polls closing. So around 8 o'clock, we're going to start to see those results. They'll be shown on a big screen that's not too far away from where I'm standing. And certainly all of this is going to start to come alive once the polls close in about 2 minutes, Savannah.
Go vote.
All right, Blaine, thank you very much.
Helen Jackson is our senior Washington correspondent.
Vote, Kai, go vote.
Share out this to the fire. Appreciate it.
I got timed out.
Here we go.
First characterization.
Finally.
What are you thinking?
Listen, Georgia is going to be a critical
Oh, they
state
got
here.
cops
This
all
is a
over
place
in the
that had
Kai
a very,
Snapchat.
very close razor-thin
Can't even
margin
tell
back
them
in
to vote.
2020. So what happens in Georgia is going to matter. Couple of things that I'm watching as I'm digging into those exit polls, which we'll get to after the polls close. Independents, who's doing well there. Non-white voters, Black and Latino voters, especially when you're looking at places like Metro Atlanta. We're always
Discussing
looking at young
film
voters,
just
and we are
endorsed
always
Kamala.
looking
Huge.
at the gender gap, of course. We know that
So this was my tweet that I put up last night.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to tweet it today, and I was like, no, this is a better hit last night.
Be after 8 o'clock.
Maybe I could follow it up with something today.
Georgia was one of those traditionally red states that Democrats had thought about and dreamed about for many years, and not until
said if she wins, Elon Musk may kill himself. And the reaction to this has genuinely been amazing. Like I've never seen like such a fast like amount of like quote retweets. Oh, this is like I didn't see this. This is sorting by like most popular.
I think there has been so much focus on African American voters and Black men in particular. I think about former President Barack Obama, who was out on the campaign trail with that very blunt message for Black male voters. Don't sit on the
There's so many. I got a lot of. I hate how they changed the. I can't see how many quote retweets there are.
All right, we have an election alert now as we approach the top of the hour, and things are about to start getting interesting.
Banger tweet. Thanks, bro. This one I was pretty proud of. Joe Rogan endorsed Joe Rogan endorsed Trump with Elon Musk.
All right, 7 o'clock in the East, and
all right, let's hear it.
Waste any time. This is the moment where we move from those months of speculations to actual results.
That's right. The polls have just closed in 6 states, and NBC News is ready to make our first projections of the night. Here we go. We start with the state of Kentucky. NBC News projects that Donald Trump will win in Kentucky tonight. Let's move to Vermont. NBC News projects that Vermont will go in the Kamala Harris column this evening. This is where it brings us on the road to 270 right now. The early start, Donald Trump out in front with 8 electoral votes, 3 for Harris. A long way to go to get that 270, but that's where we are right now.
Jesus loves you, Trump.
In a handful of states, and these are the ones we haven't called yet.
If Trump is going to take away rights, you would have lost it in 2016, you being lied to.
Georgia, and here's how we're projecting it right now. Too early to call.
You got some awesome
it may come tonight, but it's not coming this exact moment. So we will continue to watch. We don't have any results yet to show you out of Georgia. It is simply too early to call. But Georgia is one of the faster states to count. So as I go over to Turnout,
he said, Connor, please get on the Dream SMP. War is happening. Please get on Dream SMP. War is happening.
I see you've got Kentucky up on your map. Why is that?
This is the earliest data we're having so far. We have called.
Hey, Bertie, read a book, man.
Former President Trump so far. I'm just trying to get a lay of the land to see, how is it looking compared to 2020? Again, a lot of that vote is still out, but we were able to make the projection as we explained to you. I also want to talk about Indiana because we're getting some vote data here. Still too early to call. Remember, only 14% of that vote is in right now. We also have this great feature on our board where we can show you where the
spells against Trump aren't working. He has a shield.
The bubble is around those counties. That's how many votes are still outstanding. So here in the Indianapolis region, still a ton of votes waiting there. This is a state that Republicans have
you voted in Georgia or California?
Very well in elections past. If you go back here, Trump in 2020 won by about 16 points. Before that, it was even higher against Hillary Clinton. This is a state that Republicans are going to be safely in the win column, most likely. One of the places we can start to get data from is Hamilton County, with 60% of the vote in. This is not a great sign for Trump right now. But again, I want to be very clear. It's only 60% of the vote in. And this is what I'm talking about. 52% is what he won in 2020. She's on top right now with about 49, 50% of the vote. There's about 1,300 vote difference right now. Again, still very early, but this is the first data we're getting tonight.
Joe Rogan endorsed Donald Trump.
So far, there are big areas like South Bend, Pete Buttigieg, who was the
mayor
there,
obviously, where
Notre Dame is as well, and the big city of Indianapolis.
I said, dude, what the fuck? I already voted for Kamala. I assumed you weren't endorsing anyone. I took a guess. Is there any way for me to change my vote now? This sucks.
But again, in some of these smaller counties, he wants to be 60%.
This one got a lot of attention. This was a good one. This was an all-timer out of me. Solely because of the replies. Like, I mean, you would not believe like the amount of people that took this seriously.
This is when we get the tea leaves.
I mean, we're talking 911 replies.
You have a red state. You know that Indiana's that Trump will prevail most likely. Same thing with Kentucky. But sometimes we can look into those counties and particularly the suburbs, because that is where we're starting to see a trend.
Just a wild.
Savannah, we're mind melding because I'm looking at Hamilton County and I'm going, okay, people at home are probably going, wait a second, Hamilton County, was I supposed to know about that one? Was that one of the big ones? Here's why it's so interesting. It's because of the tea leaves, Savannah. And
you must not know, Joe, if you think you'd ever vote Kamala. I just love the idea of like a normal guy who watches Joe Rogan, who listened to the Trump podcast and was like, oh, this guy's fucking stupid. Like, oh, this guy's actually a fucking idiot. Like, oh, duh, I'm not going to vote for him. And then voted for Kamala and now is annoyed. Like, wait, what the fuck? Like, actual free-thinking Joe Rogan fan?
I wonder who California is going to pick.
Some of these places by how many times the candidates have visited Donald Trump. 8 trips to Georgia, 7 for Kamala Harris. I mean,
and then this happened too, where FaZe Banks endorsed Donald Trump. This was sad for us FaZe fans.
What the risk?
So I said, how do I change my vote? LOL, I already voted for Kamala. FaZe up. Which I look good in this picture, by the way, even without the beard.
President Biden wound up eking out a victory, and then the excerpts. That's where
Lacey endorsing Trump. Out of all the FaZe members to vote for Trump, Lacey is absolutely the least surprising.
State of Georgia, he'll do it in those territories.
Let's take it a step out, because these are themes that will run throughout the night. Kamala Harris has to get the turnout up in the
Never grow it again. I was kind of growing it right now, but I'll shave it because of you.
She has to make up for the rural vote that is expected for Donald Trump, and he has been very good in past elections at finding these voters who aren't.
Banks saying he was a lifelong Democrat. Bro, I was listening to him talk to Hassan last night, which Hassan told him on. Didn't we have that clip of Hassan telling FaZe Banks, like, dude, Connor Eats Pants says he loves FaZe and Kamala Harris. And Banks is like, I love Connor, bro. That's my boy. Anybody had that clip? That shit's awesome.
Joe Biden won it, not just by running up the margin in the Philadelphia county, but in the suburbs of Philadelphia, those collar counties that make all the difference. Hallie and I are both in Pennsylvania.
Wholesome. I've said this about Banks before, bro. He is a perfect example of like how I view humans and the way I go about my life, and that like we can disagree on so much, and I can think he's like fundamentally wrong on a lot. But I try to see the best in people and see like what is their benefit to the society. Everybody is a benefit of society, and I think Banks is a happy guy who actually does like the people around him. He has a good energy.
In the state of Georgia.
He just might be a little misinformed.
These are early numbers. They may shift a little bit throughout the night, but this is really interesting here. And if you're wondering, well, how does this compare to 2020? Let me pull that up here because he is overperforming. Donald Trump is overperforming
independent voters
with independent voters
in Georgia.
This cycle than he did last cycle by a significant margin, by about 10 points as well.
I mean, didn't a lot of like Trumpers in Georgia like abandon the Republican Party because Brian Kemp wouldn't steal the election?
Winning with women, Donald Trump winning with men, and I'll tell you as I walk back over to the table.
Come on, Obama. I just want to pop in and tell everyone it's true. I do endorse Kamala. Let's go, bro. Hassan clip. You really think it'll be it on fucking
campaign sources just in the last couple of hours?
Clip is in the first minute or so.
Called this election.
Jamie, pull it up.
All jokes aside, let me just preface
FaZe Banks is endorsing Donald Trump. Hassan Abi reacts.
Live stream talking about politics.
For sure, like it's my own personal, you know, it's a handful, it's a hand selected group of people that I ask. I'm with FaZe Banks right now. He's talking to me to go vote before the voting store closes. Yeah, I was shocked. I wouldn't say I was shocked necessarily about your endorsement, but I was a little distraught, personally. ConnorEatsPants wanted you to know that there are people out there who are still pro-FaZe and pro-Kamala Harris.
That's amazing. I'm happy that we live in that version of America.
Yeah, he said, please remind him I love FaZe Clan and Kamala. We exist. That's what he said.
I'm obsessed with Connor. I love you. Unironically got you an American flag for your birthday.
It's not exactly what he...
Rick Owens flag.
It's not exactly what he got. I don't know... So that was confusing me. He did not get me that from. I did not give me a Rick Owens American flag for my birthday. I don't know where that came from. I think he might be thinking of a different guy. He got me my Make FaZe Great Again hat. Oh, he's talking about Hassan. That makes more sense. I see.
Remember, it used to be behind me, but we moved it away.
I see. Thinking of C-Dog. No, he's talking about Hassan. He just mixed up his words. That makes more sense. Russ, thank you, bro.
A county that he usually does very well in, Volusia County on the East Coast here. 56%.
Hassan does his best, but he's not built to like debate Banks on like things like that.
So he
lets Banks talk too much about things and not like press him on like the thing that he needs to like press him on. Like Banks would be like talking. He's like, dude, Rogan and Elon were Democrats, and now they're for Trump. Does that not mean anything? And it's like you got to press him on that. Like, no, they weren't Democrats, bro. It's like what your definition of Democrat is just like person on the left. Or like loosely associated left. It's like they were never that.
He needed this in the win column. Still very early right now statewide. Only 18% of the vote is
Dr. Toby, thank you.
Where that remaining
thank you, bro.
Is tonight. So you can see in the major cities, Tampa. We're still
1.3K on YouTube. That's crazy.
Milton and Helena.
1.7 on Twitch. Wow, big day.
West of that, a big swing county.
Stop
Orlando.
the count.
That's a hub
we
for
have
Democrats. Duval County.
God bless America.
Trump wins. He's declaring victory.
Ron DeSantis' old district when he was a representative. This has been a swing county. Biden won it, but Trump won it in 2016. Look, Harris is doing pretty well. In 2020, Biden was
I'm going viral, bro.
She's now at 50%. 66% of the vote is still out. This is a county that Republicans had hoped to flip. We're going to have to wait and see. But again, that vote's trickling in.
I saw on Joe Rogan that looked like you saying you voted for Kamala. Is this true? You being in person? I hit my comfort streamer. I wouldn't vote for Kamala. No, it was me. I voted for Kamala Harris. I think it's a girl's turn.
It's going to be a very long night for Republicans.
I would have voted for like girl Hitler, honestly. I just think a girl needed to be in the White House. I don't even care about policy at this point.
Good state for Donald Trump. It is also the first test of Trump's strength. So that is why why all of those areas that Tom is just laying out. These are, again, very early data so far.
Insane quote.
But significant nonetheless.
I'd just be saying shit on the stream, bro.
Once we get in more, understand how strong he's
Fun fact alert for those who remember the hanging chads of 2000.
36
Florida,
months
in the
has
wake
led
of
us
that
here.
debacle, has
Happy
some of the
election night.
fastest
Hope I don't
Hanging
blow
chads.
up
No, it
tomorrow.
really is crazy that like I was not cognizant enough to notice at the time, but every research I've done into the 2000 election is how it was literally stolen, like unironically. Like George W. Bush did not win the presidency by any means.
At this point, are we seeing anything unexpected, though?
Been watching for
far,
5
I
years.
do think the independent
Keep
numbers
it
are going to
up,
be really
Connor.
interesting to watch throughout the course of the night, especially in what we saw in those early
In
national
Florida,
exit
Prej.
polls that a lot of people were identifying not as Republican, not as Democrat, but as independent. So that's a storyline to watch.
Why aren't we watching the 5 when it's 5 o'clock? You want to pull up Fox News for a bit?
The biggest of any.
Let's pull up Fox. Let's get some real news going. Really stupid to imagine Trump as president. I got a bad news for you, bro. We had a couple of years. Fox News isn't doing a live stream? Well, Live Now is from Fox, but not Fox News itself. That's crazy. Does Trump like Pokemon? No. There's that clip of JD Vance talking about how his stupid son like interrupted him to talk about Pokemon when he was being chosen for vice president.
Georgia on the presidential level here. Let's take that. All right, so
Dude, JD Vance hates his kids. It's so crazy. It was like my stupid dumbass kids are screaming and yelling.
Many of the votes have been counted.
You can tell he doesn't fuck with his kids at all.
1,200 for Harris. All right, so you see Trump there over Harris. So it's still early. What do we make, Austin, of these results here?
Mailed in my vote 7 times and voted in person as both myself and my father in Pennsylvania.
You mean his wife's kids? What do you mean his wife's kids? Is that what he calls them?
We're not expecting to get any bellwethers, and I think we just saw the results possibly update there. And what I'll do is
He doesn't call them his own children?
because we can, and there it is. So yeah, we're getting, okay, so we're seeing now 78,000 votes for Harris versus 63,000 votes for Trump. So we're getting in a little bit more context as to how people are leaning. We don't know exactly where these votes are coming from, but we do know that Harris so far with only 3% of the votes tabulated.
Bro, Fox News is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and of course,
We don't know where these votes are coming
One
from.
big here, 66%. Biden did the
So
same at
insane they can
64.
just do that.
Tonight, Harris is at 60. Again, I always point to this number. All the votes not in. But if you were to call it right now, she is slightly underperforming. We'll wait for that other vote to come in. Guys,
All right,
over to you.
Tom, thanks very much. We are just minutes away from polls closing in Ohio and battleground.
They're starting it already? I was telling you this would happen all year. I was warning you all year about this.
Yeah.
Unless she wins like so decisively, it is going to be so much worse than 2020. Iowa wagon, thank you. It's good news that the state of democracy is high up on people's list of issues. That is concerning.
I had such a long day. Before voting, I had to get an abortion. Then I voted. I got another abortion. Then I went and voted again.
Nice.
Then I got a sex change. Then I ended my day by getting a sex change.
And then I had a Marg Tower. What's your PB on abortions? I could only get 6 max. I've never had an abortion. I've never had sex. It's scary. Connor, I am Canadian. How can I vote? Connor, what is your stance on immigration? Cool. Connor, is it a bad idea to break my rule of not drinking alone the night? This is hella boring. I think if there's any night you can drink alone, it's election night. You see North Korea is helping Russia and Ukraine now? I did. I'm trying to get in touch with some Ukrainian Connor chatters, see if we can get a North Korean POW on Fortnite Friday. apparently it might break the Geneva Convention, but I don't think Twitch cares. Because I read on the news that Twitch is pro-Hamas. I have Ukrainian friends in Poland. I'll get it done. Let's go, bro. It's honestly really concerning how Twitter can just ban the president of the United States. Tell me about it, man. My girlfriend just burped. Ew. She's so happy you read that, LMFAO. Sick. Toe to sub. Usually rival sources of the North Korean soldiers deployed to Russia have never had unfair access to the internet before. As a result, they are gorging on pornography. Bro, their mind is blown right now. The North Korean gooners. Bro, there's gotta be some wild stories by the end of this war. It's so crazy. The world that we're in right now. We are in World War III. I don't know why their whole campaign, they're trying to scare people, but like what will be remembered as World War III is certainly already started.
Welcome back. We're going to be taking you to this view and these numbers here as we continue throughout the evening on the road to 270. Donald Trump out to the early lead with 19. Harris with 3. Let's look at a couple of races that have uncalled so far.
I'm from Carnegie. Thank you for the sub. Luna, thank you.
Electoral votes, just 1% in there in Virginia, but you can see
why is the girl losing? Sexism.
Right now in Georgia. That's
shit.
The big,
you came back.
Big prize in the among the swing states right now. Donald Trump with 90,000 votes. Kamala Harris 86,000, but that's too early to call.
So we had some of our first poll closings. We await Arizona in a couple of hours from now. 11 electoral votes. We've got guys.
You honestly gay as fuck if you voted for Trump, dude. I think that might be the most gay shit you can do.
There, a real split that you're seeing.
There's a girl on the ballot and you vote for the guy. What the hell is wrong with you, bro?
Absolutely. Big lines, big turnout.
You like dick?
ASU. This is the 75-foot line. That's where the line starts. And let's take a walk, because this line is about 77 minutes long. If you're looking at
should have ran. Kamala should have ran on that shit.
All the way down, and you're seeing
low key, that lands on college campuses.
You were just talking about that gender gap, and we've been talking to a lot of the students here, a lot of the female students.
We're going to turn the University of Alabama blue.
Abortion.
Jack Cooper, thank you for the sub. Is Catwoman, thank you.
Treats women, and then you see a lot of males in this line, young guys.
Imagine waiting in a line to vote. Just go early, LMFAO. Literally, bro.
Have been given out along this line from organizers here, and they have been telling us that the reason why they are turning out is because of the economy, because of masculine identity, and they've also said, interestingly enough, people have been talking about the podcast wars here in this line, and Joe Rogan, that Joe Rogan
okay.
we were talking to
Arizona's been cooked, bro. Ludwig came from out of here.
They were open to the
ASU grad.
Voting for Kamala Harris, but when the decision was made not to sit down with Joe Rogan, that influenced their vote. So it wasn't necessarily economy for them, but it was the idea that that Harris was not.
Guy who went out to vote because of the Joe Rogan endorsement is real.
And so that's why they decided to vote for Trump. Savannah.
All right, Gotti, thank you.
Both candidates have been courting Latino voters, a huge voting bloc, more than 36
They're
million
Latinx
in the
voters, Lester,
We
please.
have Hallie Jackson here, who's been looking at the exit polls and can drill down on that a little bit.
And the reason we're talking about Georgia here is because that is a state where the polls have closed, so we can report out some of this exit poll data. Again, 600 polling places all across the country. It's early vote, it's mail-in vote, it's in-person day of, but it is early, right? So these numbers could shift a bit. But what we're seeing in Georgia on the Latino vote is interesting. It is Kamala Harris, who is winning the Latino vote, 56% to Donald Trump at 42%. But interestingly,
it's crazy that it's just that much.
Former President Trump is doing slightly better with Latinos in Georgia than he did in 2020. He is slightly overperforming with that demographic group. And Jose, you know, and Savannah and Lester and Kristen, this is something that
my Latino friend who was a Trumper in 2016 and 2020 voted for Kamala this time.
Groups, including Black and Latino voters.
Well, let us bring Jose Diaz.
So they have wrong. Their numbers are wrong because of an anecdotal experience that I have.
Win over more Latino voters on behalf of the Trump campaign. It's never been about can we win the Latino vote.
For the 12th time in a crucial county in my swing state.
And are we beginning to see perhaps that strategy pay off?
Seven, I think the course set for the future of America tonight will have been chartered by Latino America.
Why are you friends with a Trumper? I'm from suburban Atlanta, bro.
Like Nevada,
everybody I knew
Arizona,
growing up was probably a Trumper.
Of the population, the eligible population to vote is Latino. But we're talking about Georgia, for example. 400,000 eligible voters are Latinos. We're talking about Pennsylvania. More
it really is like, it must be like mind-boggling to have like been raised in like an area of this country where there really like wasn't much like conservative politics. Because like I feel that you can only understand like the sheer amount that there is if you like were around that your whole life.
Strong is participating maybe in historic numbers tonight in the American democratic experiment, our American democratic
and what's
experiment.
Driving that?
I think what's driving that is that there is no Latino vote. There are Latino voters, each with their own individual American dream, with vicissitudes
executing democratic election steal program. Program executing. Election will be stolen in 3, 2, 1. Election has been stolen for Kamala Harris.
Let's go.
She will win all remaining states.
Let's go. We did it. Take that, Russia.
To say tonight. And in Arizona and Nevada, yes, but also in Georgia and in North Carolina.
But imagine if he was like, tonight the Latinos came out and said, hola.
From another round of poll closings.
Like, so true. So true, commentator.
Including that former battleground, Ohio, and one of the newest battlegrounds, North Carolina.
We are moments away from the polls closing in 3 more states.
Extra 30 billion to Ukraine.
North Carolina.
President Trump has won this state.
I'm down to give 30 billion to Ukraine.
North Carolina, we're going to defeat Kamala Harris.
But this year,
North Carolina, we will win.
Kamala Harris is making a serious run for its 16 Electoral College votes.
North Carolina, it all comes down to this.
Plus 2 major wild cards. Hurricane Helene.
That guy's awesome. Everybody just stop talking about him.
And the Trump-supported candidate for governor.
Now to the scandal that's rocked the
Gooner governor, dude.
Can someone explain to me what's going on?
Possible drag on the Republican ticket.
We are
Black Nazi,
the first vote count
Gooner governor.
Information for the Tar Heel state.
If I lived in North Carolina, I would be the one guy who voted for Kamala Harris and that guy, just to see what would happen.
So that sets us up for
wonder what he's gonna do.
Brock, hard-hit Asheville, North Carolina. This was the part of Western Carolina that were really hurt by Hurricane Helene. And you're in Asheville now. What are you seeing there?
I'm sick of all this filler. Just tell us who won Kids' Choice Awards. I'm saying, Tommy.
Certainly, this is one of the most directly impacted.
It's the realest shit you've said in a minute.
Starting to pack up now. Just about an hour or two earlier, there was large applause here because they reached 1,000 people voting in person.
Hi, Connie. I was here for your reaction for Jan 6, 2021. Can't wait for part 2 with my favorite internet personality, less than 3.
Thank you, Wahao.
Which is why they had to shift it. It's one of about 17 different locations in this county.
I don't think Aiden Ross has any fans that are old enough to vote. No, he doesn't. And the ones who are old enough to vote don't know how to do it.
They were able to find their location. And in Buncombe County alone, you had 116,000 people early voting, and then 25,000.
I didn't know you until today, but you seem pretty funny. I'm a fan. Thank you, Bendy Straw.
And the
we get a sub.
The state Savannah, and this is really what I want to drive home, outperformed the rest of North Carolina when it comes to early voting. There was a 56.7%.
It's crazy that like the Avengers openly endorsed Kamala Harris and it's still close. Bro, they're the fucking Avengers, dude. Did you see those movies?
See cases of water over my shoulder, right?
Maybe listen.
doling out supplies. And just to give you a snapshot of what's going on the ground right now, people don't have potable water. You're staying at hotels where families are still displaced, and they are just wondering when are they going to get their loans for their business.
Hulk is kind of controversial. Dude, Hulk is the most based one.
All the things that are weighing on folks' mind as they're still voting. Now, we talked about North Carolina as a wild card, as it projects strength in terms of some of the turnout here in the rural communities.
Hawkeye stayed mad quiet. He's in the hospital still, probably.
41% for men. There was a big gap so far in early voting of women who are voting. And the conversations I'm having, many of them tell me that they do think abortion is front and center for them. We'll see how that plays out here in the hours to come.
All right,
Thanos endorsed Trump on no jumper.
Part of the
Not
region
surprised.
has just been through so much, and yet so many people came out to exercise their right to vote. I want to go over to Tom Yamas because this is the battleground.
Thanks, Luna. No, I didn't deserve to win the Ludwig event. Don't get me wrong. Getting top 5 was very impressive, and I'm happy with that. I'm a top 5 gamer in the world.
But it was his closest margin of victory. Let's take a look at North Carolina right now, and I'll take you back to elections past. So as we just mentioned,
I made some crazy clutch plays to stay in it.
Right? He won it in 2016. He had a higher margin there. We go back to Romney. I want to go all the way back to Obama's first race. Obama won North Carolina, right? But since then, Republicans have been able to flip the state, but their margins have come down just slightly. I spoke with Governor Roy Cooper, the governor of North Carolina, who told me this is going to be their year. So how do they turn out?
What are your thoughts on the Mr. Beast situation? There's like so many Mr. Beast situations I don't even know.
They have to do it. The first one is
my biggest issue with Mr. Beast right now is that he's like with like Logan Paul so much. Like you're supposed to be the chill guy, bro. Why are you associating with the low gang?
Black voters there. They have to drive out those voters.
Hang out with Ludwig, not low gang.
The Research Triangle, the capital Raleigh. You have schools like NC State in Raleigh, just next door.
Like Ludwig may be like a more soy Logan Paul. Sure, I'll give you that. Like I'll give you that. Sure, but like at least he's a good guy.
You have places like Greensboro and High Point, Winston-Salem, along with those historically black universities. These are the areas, guys, where they have to run up the
I heard
vote.
they fixed the Sprinter Carpentry mode. I might have to get that.
You see how red it is. And here's the issue. It's one of the most rural battleground
JP
states.
Gamer said, did Obama win with the resub? Obama did win his elections, yes.
Sam Brock about the issue of hurricanes. Those are the hurricane counties right there. A lot of them are
Gregor,
Trump
thank you for the
with
sub.
the exception of Asheville, Buncombe, where you have Appalachian State over
Ludwig
here.
eats babies. That was one time
Those
for
are
a video.
Trump countries. Hopefully those people are going to go out and vote for him. That's what they need. Back to you guys over there.
All right, Tom, then the Democrats have put on quite the ground game there in North Carolina to try and flip that state in their direction, which would make their path considerably easier.
How are these hoes doing, Connor? Don't call them that, bro.
Just voted 10 times today. 3.
Saw no unusual problems, no major.
Dude, this guy looks like a ghoul.
Whatsoever. Our workers were courteous, they were professional, and they
Bro,
were
if you get old enough that your face starts sagging, you need to like get cosmetic surgery.
Now we are aware.
Like, there's no excuse
that
anymore.
There were several
I'm just playing, bro.
Those threats
But you actually shouldn't be able to run for public office.
our chief, and you'll hear from him in a few minutes. As a result of that,
Tim Wall's raid, 2K viewers. Connor, that's gender-affirming care. Don't they give that to inmates?
Open a little later, anywhere from a little later, meaning after 7 p.m., anywhere from 10 minutes to 45 minutes, based upon the time that they were closed.
Don't my tax dollars fund transgender surgeries for illegal immigrants?
With the results of today's election, and I will give Fulton County, Georgia, an A for the great work that we've done.
An A.
I hate how
wow.
He's talking about how the Democrats are very clearly summoning the hurricanes to hit the Republican states near the election. Can you report on this and stop the steal?
Good evening, good evening.
Not S rank.
Yesterday I said that you
Nay's
were going to
good.
see the best run elections in Fulton County, and I think you have. We did have bomb threats, we did control criminal activity, but there weren't waiting lines. Things were resolved fast for voters. I personally went out to sites when there were problems and resolved them, talked to managers. I want to thank all of the poll workers, all of the poll managers, all of the monitors, all of the poll watchers.
Awesome audio.
Who helped make this a safe,
they're doing their
secure,
best.
Transparent and accurate election. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Why does Russia care about who wins? Like, get a life, bro. Probably because they want their country to like exist with Putin like flushing out the economy to take over Ukraine.
Well, I really don't do interviews.
So I can see why they would want to like have Trump win.
Tonight. My name is John Freer. I'm chairman of the State Election Board.
I want to talk about the great things that I've seen, because over the last couple of weeks I've had a chance to go across Georgia, from South Georgia to North Georgia, and talk to election superintendents across the state and visit over 20 polling locations. And
Bro, I wish they
everyone
could
that I've
both
been
win,
to,
man.
All I've seen is good things. I've seen some extremely dedicated poll workers, extremely dedicated superintendents and poll managers, and I am really optimistic that this may be the best election Georgia's ever held. Chairman Allen has invited me to see many polling locations.
I don't believe you if the candidate I don't like wins.
Saw about 9 polling
That's what I have to say to that, buddy.
Ran efficiently and effectively. The voters were happy. The poll managers were happy.
Delhi, thank you.
Poll workers were happy, and when I see that happening, it makes you feel good. And the one thing a lady told me today when I was in a poll in Gwinnett County, she said, the people that are criticizing the way the polling's going, if they would just come work a poll one time, and understand all the checks and balances that we have in Georgia. To make sure
I don't want to do that.
Safe election,
I don't want to do that.
Understand that we do have fair, safe.
I heard on the news that they were bringing in ballots from Hugo Chavez.
I want to thank all those poll workers out there and all those election.
The ghost of Hugo Chavez is bringing in votes to Georgia.
Coverage at 7:30 in the East. We've got some new results to show you. West Virginia,
West Virginia has fallen.
In West Virginia with 4 electoral votes. Here's where it puts us on the road to 270.
Oh my God, West Virginia went red. I know, Tommy. What a shock.
Polls just closed in a handful of states. Here are ones that we cannot call yet: Ohio and the battleground of North Carolina, which we've been talking about. Here's our projection at this hour. Too early to call, just not ready to release any information about that yet. Georgia is also too early to call. Polls closed about a half hour there now. And we do have a projection. This has to do with the United
Crispy,
States
thank
Senate.
you.
West Virginia, the winner is Jim Justice. As expected, he will go
A guy
to the
named
Senate.
Jim
This is
Justice that looks like that can never be good news, bro.
Please
by
bless
Senator
Pili
Joe
Kamala
Manchin, who was a
save us.
Democrat,
Maybe he'll come on
and
Fortnite Friday.
still caucused with the Democrats. Well, now the Republicans have
Kojima character.
Senate seat. As I turn to the table here, and Kristen, just so
He's
people
like a racist guy in a
right now, it's
Kojima
Democrats
game.
who hold a very narrow lead in the Senate, but they're looking to the Republicans are looking to flip that tonight. They need a net pickup of 2 seats. They just got 1.
They just got 1, so it is significant. We are looking at, and this was expected, as you said.
On the spray, thank you.
Justice winning that seat. So they now turn to the state of Montana. They turn to the state of Ohio. Sherrod Brown looking for a 4th term there. He has gotten a pretty
4 terms
challenge from a Trump-backed former car dealer, Bernie Moreno. So we'll see how that
Former car dealer.
out. But one of the things, just zooming
I did
out a
see that
little bit,
Rocco from
a
S64
lot
was the
of these
Kojima. That's
Senate races
awesome.
Have gotten a lot
Bro,
closer.
guy on
in
right's
recent
face
weeks.
is cropped
Democrats
weird.
Felt somewhat comfortable as we've
Why
gotten
did they
closer
crop
to
his face
election
like
day,
that? He doesn't look
have
right.
Seen that margin really narrow. And again, this brings us back to this discussion.
What did it think?
Still running. I voted for him already and forgot to
17
check.
states had different people vote for president versus Senate. That was down to 1 state last year, the state of Maine, when Susan Collins won, but the state went for Joe Biden. So we'll have to watch that very closely. But again, we were expecting that result out of West Virginia.
Ticket splitting has become more
Kamala
rare
Harris
in the
stuns
Trump
and projected
era.
winner
However,
photo.
taking into
Subscribing
account
for
some of these
quad
Senate
yearly
races where people
ConnorEatsPants
might vote for a
selection
different party
coverage.
for president than they do for the Senate.
That's one of the things we'll be watching closely.
And how are you doing some more agent duty?
She's so pretty.
North Carolina?
That's right. So now that North
Wait, how
Carolina
old is
polls
she?
are closed, I want to talk you through some of what we're seeing
Ads,
from these
thank you.
exit polls numbers. And it is interesting here, right? First, we're going to take a look at the non-white vote in North Carolina. These are the black voters, include Latino voters that Tom was talking about in some of those key counties in North
She's
Carolina.
60?
As
That's
expected,
crazy.
Vice President Harris is winning non-white voters based on these early exit poll numbers. But take a look at Donald Trump here. He's got that 25% slice of the pie. Let me show you the comparison. He is outperforming where he was 4 years ago with non-white voters in North Carolina. He was at 19% in 2020. However, 2 things are also true here. Let me show you white voters here, and we can take a look at the comparison here. You can see that it is former President Trump winning with white voters at 61%. Kamala Harris at 39%. But again, take a look at the comparisons to 2020. She is actually outperforming where President Biden was back in 2020. She is doing better
That's
with
insane.
white voters in North Carolina.
She's a
So you
woman
might
and
look at
she's
that, you
not
might go,
white.
as we take a walk
And the
back to
white
the desk
people
here,
like her
you might go,
more.
okay, well, those 2 things, do they balance out? Not really, because white voters make up
When
a
did Black
larger
Panther
share
come
of
out?
the electorate in North Carolina than non-white voters. So she might be willing to make that trade, essentially.
All right, Hallie, thanks. I want to go back over
2018.
to Tom. Tom, you've got some more information in Florida.
Maybe
but
Black
before you get
Panther
into
2?
that, just to be clear, there's 2 poll closing times in the state of Florida.
Yeah, it's what we call a split poll closing. So on the eastern portion of the state, we have data
Black
coming
Panther
in because the
2
polls
might have done
closed
it.
there. We can tell you about the data. And some of the further parts of the panhandle, they haven't closed just yet. So we won't be giving you that data just yet. We'll probably wait another 30 minutes. I want to show you something that's somewhat surprising. It may surprise you if you watch presidential elections and you follow election nights like this one.
Nobody
Donald
watched
Trump
that.
right now with
Fortnite
73%
piss
of
god.
the
What the
voting.
hell do you
He's
watch,
up
man?
55% in Miami-Dade County. Again, this is where Democrats find their votes in the state of Florida. Biden won Miami-Dade County by 53. They've now flipped those numbers. This is pretty astonishing when you think where Hillary Clinton was in 2016. 63%, 53. Now tonight, 55. Again, there's still 73% of the vote left. This shouldn't be a complete shocker because Governor Ron DeSantis won Miami-Dade 2 years ago by about 11 points, which was a surprise at the time.
Democrats
But this
kept
shows
Cuba
how
in the terrorist
Republicans are
list and they still
expanding the
lost
map and how
Miami-Dade.
Florida's becoming more and more red. I do want to show you some.
Bro,
some
half the
potential
Cubans
good
I know
news,
would like
possibly
agree
for
with
the
that
Harris
though. They'd be like,
campaign,
no, I
if
hate
you're watching
Cuba.
tonight. So we're watching some of the votes.
They'd be
coming
like,
in
we
Georgia.
suck.
Remember I told you more than 50% of the vote from Georgia is going to come around the Atlanta metro region. Let's take a look at some of these counties around Atlanta. 74% in Douglas County. Look at her number. 65%.
I'm just gonna Kai Cenat ad. I think I'm gonna close the stream. It's crazy that he has ads on the site.
In the exact counties where she needs to find those votes. Let's look at
Is
another
Kai
county
Cenat
here.
a big money like
Right now,
plant
we don't
streamer
have
now,
any
low key?
vote just yet in.
He lose the
Rockdale
sauce.
County, this is another big one. She's at 75%. Biden was at 69. So she's overperforming right now in some
No,
of
he
these
had
counties in
iCarly
the
on.
Atlanta metro region. Again, guys, this is where
Is that
she has to
Red
drive
Cobb
up the
County
vote.
I
If
see?
she can expand the map,
That ain't
steal
good.
the Democratic vote there, they can hold Georgia. You remember this was such a close race 4 years ago. Any votes they can find in that Atlanta region is going to help them. Guys?
He did gift me a T-Pain sub today. Whoa. I didn't know Kai was chill like that.
And we also want to ask them what they're thinking of some of these early returns. We're starting to see some themes come out. We've got Cornell Belcher. We've got
Has
Mark
the Cobb
Lauder.
always
Cornell,
been
I'll
red? It was
ask
blue
you
last time.
What you think about what Tom just talked about. You had the story in Miami-Dade where it's potentially a big victory in that
I like this
county.
look.
Signs perhaps that that outreach to the Hispanic vote is working for Donald Trump. And yet in Georgia, you're starting to see some of that suburban vote really being ramped up for Kamala Harris.
No, I think that's right. Look, Florida is I think Democrats are going to look back at how we've not invested in Florida since the campaign I worked on, the Obama campaign. We've not invested in work Florida.
I wouldn't invest in Florida either,
like
to be
a country.
fair.
It's really big, expensive.
It's going to be
state.
underwater.
I think we've taken those resources and we moved them more to battleground states like Georgia and North Carolina, and where you see a sort of a difference. But Florida, you know, it's a state that Democrats did not invest a lot of
You
money
could pull
in,
that
did not
look.
run a lot of advertising in, and it shows.
Let me bring in Mark Lauder, Director of Strategic Communications in the Trump 2020 re-election campaign.
He looks
Former
like a lightning
spokesperson
wizard.
for Vice President,
Like he would
Mark, give us
cast
your
like
view as
lightning
we wait
spells
for
from his
a
rod,
call in North Carolina.
from his wizard staff.
What is the Harris camp right now thinking?
Right now, they're looking at turnout. I think, and really for both sides, it's going to be all about turnout. Do you get your voters out? I've seen some, I've heard anecdotally from some of my colleagues on the campaign that turnout is not where it needs to be in the urban areas for Kamala Harris. It's overperforming in some of the rural areas, including the hurricane impacted areas. So I think that's a good sign for
This is
President
boring.
Trump, but we're going to have
Might
to
be right.
see how that plays out. Another thing I'm watching, and I know Tom alluded to it with Miami-Dade, but I also looked at Hillsborough.
Who we
County,
voting
Tampa
for,
Bay,
gang? Bro,
Florida.
it's too late
It was
now,
both
bro.
Hillary and Biden, both a +7. Right now, it's only Kamala +1.
And Hillary Clinton actually did some campaigning there for this particular election as well. Mark and Cornell, thank you. We'll be back early and often as we go along here.
And we will
Pupper
take a break.
Laws, thanks for the
We're gonna come
sub.
back with more on the make or break state of Pennsylvania as the polls get ready to close there.
Can we react to Asmongold's POV? Or no? I'm glad that Asmongold is allowed back on the site, and all those damn dims who made a tier list at TwitchCon aren't allowed.
Like, because it's 73%. Like, I mean, you can pretty much assume it's going to be like that the whole time. Like, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it looks like the numbers are this way, so they're just gonna stay that way, probably.
I'm looking at the rest of these too. Georgia, Trump is in Georgia. What the fuck? 60% in Georgia. Oh my God. He's up by over 100,000 votes.
Whoa!
Check
With
Polymarket.
9%
I'm gonna look at
reporting.
it right now. Polymarket, where's it at? 61.5?
Let's check Polymarket.
Oh my God. Uh-oh.
It's the best indicator.
Trump tweet? Oh, he tweeted?
What? Unlikely
Oh,
thing for him to
shit.
do.
What did he say? I'm trying to find.
But who watches this, man?
Give me a minute.
W. Trump. He said it was rigged. Covfefe.
Yeah, he did. Where's it at? Give me a minute.
Hi, Republicans. We're doing really well. If you're in line, stay in line. Don't let them take you off that line. Vote. Stay on the line. They can't do anything
Yes, sir.
about it. And
Yes,
vote.
Mr. President.
We're gonna win it big. Thank you.
We're gonna win it big. All right. Let's see where we're at on the
I
on
thought
the next one
Eisman
here.
Gold was unbiased.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has no idea how
23
elections
to
work.
3. It's not looking good for Kamala Harris.
He has no idea how this shit works. He has no idea. Yeah, I'm reading numbers and... Can someone here tell me how this election works, please? I don't know. It's gonna be close, bro. We knew it could be like this, bro. It's okay. They won't count our extra mail-in ballots till late.
Happy election day. I'm Canadian, but I still sent in 40 Mylene ballots like a true patriot.
I clicked this link, Banana. I don't understand what it is. Pope Francis appears to accidentally bless the NFL's New Orleans Saints. That son of a gun, dude. Wait, how did he do that? What do you mean he blessed the NFL Saints?
Do you pledge not to hold a vote?
Ducky
on
legs, thank
any
you, bro.
legislation that would ban abortion? Do you still have faith and confidence in
He
the
did
Supreme
hashtag
Court?
Saints on
Is
Twitter.
this plan to ban
Called X
price
now.
gouging anything more than a gimmick? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
$28-3. Hey, I've seen it come back before. He needs, if he gets up to 28-3, that would actually be huge. He'll win it for the meme.
To 270, waiting for North Carolina right now. The polls closed there. But how important is that to either candidate in terms of making their path to 270 easier or tougher?
Yeah, let's start with former President Trump because he really needs to hold North Carolina. It was the
Jinxie's
only
chat
battleground
is just
state he
kids
won in
spamming Trump
2020. So let's give him
2024.
North Carolina. If he holds
I mean,
North
yeah,
Carolina,
they're the kids
he
that are
flips
affluent
Georgia
enough
and
to have mom's
Pennsylvania.
iPad
He
at
gets
7 years old.
270. That's his
Of course they're
easiest path.
Trumpers.
But Lester, if he can't win North Carolina, his whole
Oh,
map
is this what you were
changes.
trying? Is
Why
it
do I say that?
28-3
Because
here?
he can
Wait,
no
oh, I
longer
get
win
it
just
now.
3 states.
Huge.
He has to win 4. He can do it by winning Pennsylvania.
Nice. These are
and
numbers we
Georgia
want to see.
and keeping the blue wall, or I should say tearing down the blue wall, Michigan and Wisconsin. If he can't go there, he has to go out west and win both
Thanks for the
Nevada
sub.
and Arizona.
I saw
That
that
puts him over the
Banks
top.
tweet
But again,
before I went
without
out
North
to vote.
Carolina,
I had
for
no
his
idea
scenario,
who
he
I
needs
was
4
voting
states.
for.
I know, bro. I didn't know who to vote for either until FaZe Banks endorsed the candidate.
Well, look, if she wins these 16 electoral votes, it eases some pressure off her, right? Because her easiest path is the blue wall. If she can win Pennsylvania and North Carolina, look how close she is. She only needs 9 more electoral
Lil Pump
votes.
dropped the
Pretty much
MAGA
any
song
other state, with
recently,
the exception
didn't he?
of Nevada, gets.
Wait, it's country? He's going full grip. Wait, I love him.
Forefathers who found this nation would have won fans worried about inflation.
Oh my god. Wait, is there one where it's just the song? Wait, here it is. Wait, he tweeted with guns and said hashtag prop guns. Bro, he's so funny. It's just so easy to get money out of conservatives. It really is.
Patriotic as apple pie and fireworks on the 4th of July. He understands the importance of the blue collar man. Forefathers who found this nation wouldn't want a family's worried about inflation.
He's awesome, man.
Leader with the plan.
All-time grifter.
Bullets flying, come down, thumbs up, smiling. You know what don't kill you makes you stronger.
I love him so much, man.
Knows the value.
Is he taking the piss? No, he might be dead serious.
Sons and daughters make our nation great again.
Ozer, thank you.
Dirty job, but some's gotta do it and risk his life for the red, white, and blue. That's why you're my American hero.
Yeah.
That's why you're my American.
It's kind of got like a love song kind of tone to it.
That's why you're my American hero.
And speaking of sound, music, and other things, one of the big superstars of the world, Little Pimp.
Hello, everybody. How you guys feeling? I come here to say, Mr. President, I appreciate everything you've done for.
He's awesome, bro. He's so cool. Bro, low-key bro just dropped a love song for Trump. When the actual fuck is this? This is awesome. This is so funny. This shit sucks. Play Mango Funk. What's that? Jamie? You're not funny, dude. Those who know. What's that song that they were like, I will, Hassan was playing, I will vote for Donald. Yeah, this one. This one.
Oh my God,
This one kind of hits, bro.
I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote.
It'll get stuck in your head. That's how they get you, dude.
For Donald Trump. The people go out to vote, no fear, no more.
No more.
Vote for Trump. Let's go. Vote for Trump. If you wanna keep America great, vote for Trump. Let's do it. I vote for Trump.
Let's do it.
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote.
Stock footage.
For Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote.
What the fuck is this? It's a good song.
I will vote for Donald Trump. I don't believe in fake news.
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote.
With that young men appeal for Trump seems to be working in some places. I'm interested to see if that continues throughout the night. We heard Gotti mention like those podcast appearances earlier in the night, Joe Rogan, Logan Paul, things like that. This seems to be where he is gaining that ground. I'm interested to see if it continues in other battlegrounds.
And just underscore
Marjorie Taylor Greene is keeping her seat in the House. The state might be cooked.
The fact that they
I mean, she wasn't expected to lose it.
Out trying to energize college voters in Pennsylvania. Jennifer Garner as well.
Keep them in line.
Stay in line.
Mark Cuban is FaceTiming voters in a 4-hour line at UNC Chapel Hill right now.
Speaks to how close this
Honestly, I feel like ending double XP weekend in COD might have harmed the young vote.
Hey, we're seeing good turnout in Philadelphia.
Like if I was really like into the new Call of Duty and I didn't have this job, like I probably low key would have been less likely to turn out to vote in the event that I was going to miss out on double XP and double weapon
About
XP.
young men in particular, and to the point that you're making here at the table, that the Trump campaign has really looked to turn those young men out. They're not typically the people who show up to the ballot box every 4 years. They're what's called those low propensity voters we've been talking about. I will tell you that the
Votes
Trump
being
campaign
counted
feels
in
like
Georgia and North Carolina. I would hope so.
not always voters into voters, at least this cycle, because for them, that's one of the big keys. If they can get this demographic out to the ballot box to actually show up, whether that was early or whether that's now, they're feeling like they're going to have some wind at their back.
It's, you take a step back, the story of this election is the gender gap. It's the battle of the sexes election, and whether you want to say it's young men or
Sorry, this is the wage gap.
It's men and women. If Trump turns out more men, he wins. If Kamala Harris turns out more women, she does. It's kind of as simple as that.
No doubt about it. And what's so fascinating is that the Trump
George
campaign
Soros challenge.
tried this sort
Thank
of
you, bro. Thanks for the
unusual,
George Soros
unconventional
challenge.
tactic to get out the vote, which was to outsource it to Elon Musk, to other outside groups, and they were quite bullish heading into.
Ludwig isn't
tonight.
streaming the elections. That's my second best source right here. Ludwig 2020 election coverage stream. Never forget.
Brought in President Obama to make the case.
MAGA male.
Any evidence right now how that appeal has translated into votes tonight?
Well, that's one of the things that she
Star has died. Thank you.
I sat down with the vice president not too long ago, and she feels like she needed to earn every single one of those black male votes just as much as Joe Biden would have. That's why you saw her. We talk about podcasts, doing like an NBA podcast, a football podcast. Sure, she did Call Her Daddy.
She never came on Fortnite Friday.
That's the name of course, that very popular podcast.
People will be talking if they lose this election. That's the story of it all.
Just say this: two things are true.
No outreach.
Kamala Harris. Let me say it this way: Donald Trump is doing better with men based on public polling right now than Kamala Harris is doing with women, though that gap exists. But also remember that historically, women have turned out more than men in every election dating back to 1980. And so that is going to be one of the big key factors into tonight.
And that's why that
Who's
moment
that,
with
Flamingo?
with former President Obama was so significant when he called on them not to stay at home.
All right. Well, we're just a few minutes away now from a big batch of poll closings at 8 o'clock Eastern time, including the one that everybody's been watching, Pennsylvania. And we'll be right back.
All right, this will probably be the last hour that I'm here. Or the last hour I'll be here for. I'll probably end stream in about 30, 40 minutes. In the booth, who do I vote for? Kamala. Vote for the girl. Let's see what happens. It's gay to vote for Donald Trump when a girl is on the ballot. Remember that. Your Joe Rogan reply was so fucking funny. I'm glad you liked it, bro. It's funny until you remember that he probably influenced this large subsection of idiots to vote for Donald Trump. But I'm glad that my tweet could give you some solace and a little laugh. Donald Trump just tweeted at me, "Stay in line." Yes, sir, Mr. President. Who is this foul play guy? We're all trying to figure it out, bro. I don't know. I love this. Rudy Giuliani shows up in the Mercedes. He was ordered to surrender. Hard. It's cold as fuck. NBC News now. Where do I vote? I'm Filipino, by the way. Do you live in the Philippines? Do you live in America? I don't know. Hey, proud sponsor chatter here. Remember to drink Coke Zero Sugar. Hashtag ad, hashtag partner. Okay. All right. Do you open your daily packs on Pokemon trading card yet? I'm not sure. I have a pretty good deck already. I have 2 Pikachu EXs, a Zapdos EX. I just wrote in Joe Biden. Glad to do my part as an American. Well, good for him. Oh, Brooke AB. Hey, everybody. What a long day of getting 3 abortions and stuffing tampons in every men's restroom. Let's go.
Stay safe. This is
for you, dude.
America.
For you, man. Shout out to Antonio Brown. When I voted for my girl Stein, I hope she wins. I hope you were in a swing state, bro. But hey, maybe she'll win. Maybe you know something we don't. They gotta make abortions for men just for fun. I've been saying that. We switch to David Muir. Is David Muir live? We do like David here.
News lives in the now.
Look at this.
Wait, that's so true.
Let's break down what we know. You gotta see this. News for the generation of now is NBC.
No one talks about that. The news does live
astounded
in the
that
now.
Donald Trump didn't take the opportunity to get Nikki Haley out there.
Okay, wait. David Muir is live. I'm switching to him in a second.
Welcome back to our live election night coverage. We're coming up on the 8 o'clock hour here in the East. You are looking at vote counting centers across the country in this historic election.
They're stealing it. I see them.
In some places, people are still voting.
They are indeed. And we're about 6 minutes to the next.
P64. Thank you for the prime, bro.
At the real vote count from the biggest battleground.
Kamala wants to vasectomize every man, so I've heard. That's the plot of Children of Men.
Away from the polls closing in 16 states and the District of Columbia.
171
Did you see fake Melania? I did. I'm not sure if that's real, but I think it's really funny.
Florida, with its 30 electoral votes, could be one of the first big calls of the evening.
And we'll get our first results from what may be the most
Imagine if she
important
steals
prize
Florida.
this election, Pennsylvania.
We love Pennsylvania.
We do love Pennsylvania.
The race could all come down to the Keystone State.
Pennsylvania is extremely crucial.
If Vice President Harris loses this state,
Pennsylvania, it all comes down to this.
her path to 270 narrows significantly.
We're going to win Pennsylvania.
So, Pennsylvania, are you ready to make your voices heard?
We need tampons in boys' restrooms.
Vote count and new exit poll information from this critical battleground as our decision desk gets ready to make new calls on the road to 270. All right, getting ready for Pennsylvania. NBC's Stephanie Gosk is in Philadelphia. Stephanie, this is where the Harris campaign really needs to ramp up those turnout numbers. What do you see?
Sorry, don't care. David's live.
Stands. Don't go away. ABC News live
Never
coverage
mind,
of
he's
the
gone.
presidential race 2024 continues.
Community, people still getting in under the wire in these last few minutes, but the big
Hello,
question
Connor,
today
not
afterward is
American, so can you
how long
please
is it
play
going to take
Overwatch
to call
instead?
the
No,
state
no
of
Overwatch stream
Pennsylvania?
tonight, bro. It's
4
down for
years
the
ago,
election,
it
so you can
took
go vote.
until Saturday. I was on the
Tracer
phone
says
with
go
the former
vote.
Secretary
Winston
of the
says vote for
Commonwealth,
Kamala
talking
Harris.
about the challenges they faced back then.
Hi
2.6
there.
million mail-in ballots. That was what slowed the process down, and it was a new process for people in this state. 4 years later, they haven't changed the laws, but things are a bit better. There are fewer mail-in ballots, just under 2 million.
What does Viscus say? He also endorses Kamala Harris.
And more people, but the optimistic outlook from election officials we have spoken to is that the majority
Who are you
of those
cheering
mail-in
for,
ballots
Joe?
won't be fully processed
Joe Biden?
until Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And if this race is as tight as it was 4 years ago, when Joe Biden won by about 80,000
New Rizzler vid just dropped.
those mail-in ballots will be crucial to make the call.
Really
here.
tactical
So we're
play by
still
the
talking
Costco
days
guys
about
to not endorse a
Yeah,
candidate,
some
though.
of these
I
big
really thought the
jurisdictions
Trump
like
endorsement might be
Philadelphia,
coming
Stephanie,
from the
now they have
Boca
election
Raton
workers who are
Costco
prepared to
guys, but
work all
they held their
night
tongue.
and count all night, so perhaps it goes a little bit quicker. We'll check back with you a bunch. We have got Tom Yamas over at the big board, and you're still getting vote in from Georgia and North Carolina, two big pieces.
Okay, so what are you excited about the most? What isn't real?
Open stuff because I'm very strong.
Okay, so we have the hush puppies. You tell them to be quiet.
Whoa. So cool. Time to keep.
Okay, you got the glove up. Oh, that means there's one glove. About to get a haircut right now. Oh yeah,
Eat
my
up.
man, like a pro.
I don't really want to watch him eating food. Like,
We come to this other county, Clayton
Don't really
County,
care.
get to the suburbs of Atlanta, those ring counties around Atlanta. 84% for Biden, 85% for her, so she's holding that high water.
Why
mark.
is Cobb
We move
red,
over to
though?
Rockdale. Look at
Look
this.
on Cobb.
69% for Biden, 75% tonight for Harris. They're looking at these numbers tonight, and again, there's still a lot of vote out, but they're looking at these numbers tonight, and they're telling themselves this is the kind of rhythm
how can
they
people
want for the rest
actually
of Georgia
vote for
throughout the night.
Kamala
Only
Harris? She hasn't done a
25%
single
of the vote
thing.
is
She's been in
in.
office for 4
Trump
years
is
and
way
nothing
top,
but
but
day
again,
one. She's going to make a
25%
difference,
of the
so
vote is
stop
in.
being
Remember,
delusional,
we can
people.
show you guys where the vote
That's a
is
good point,
out. These
actually. I didn't
giant
consider
bubbles.
that.
The bigger the bubble, that's how many votes still have to be counted. So you can see a lot of the rural counties, a lot of them are coming in. There's still some in the rural county that are out.
I didn't
but the
consider
big
it. You
area,
are right
remember,
about. Wait, she
50%
literally
of the
was the
vote
vice
is gonna
president.
come around the Atlanta
Wait.
metro region. Let's also talk about Pennsylvania, guys, because we're getting close to getting some information in Pennsylvania. And remember this, 2020, Joe Biden wins the state. It is going to be the keystone state and the key to the election tonight. Trump won it in 2016. The difference about 40,000 votes. In 2020, he wins by about 80,000 votes.
I think for applying to the FaZe Bank sweep. Now that I know he declared for Trump, I voted for him. There you go.
Places like Chester, places like Montgomery County.
FaZe Bank's endorsement came in clutch.
We'll talk to Hallie about that, as well as Kristen Welker as well. Delaware County, Delco, and Philadelphia County. This area right here, this makes up about 30% of the vote for
Bro, imagine living in Delaware in Delaware County. Like,
here in
what the
2020. So Biden actually underperformed Clinton, but he overperformed in those suburbs. So we'll be watching what happens there. You also have these swing counties here, the Lehigh Valley, Monroe County, part of the Poconos, Northampton, and Lehigh. Lots of Hispanics there. We're going to see what happens. And we are so honored to have both Kristen and Hallie, people who know about Wawa. They know about Eagles fans. They know about steak.
We're talking about Wawa on NBC News, bro. Bring David back.
Always.
But Tom, you forgot to ask them cheesesteaks, wit or wit out?
Wit.
Okay.
Whiz wit out, babe.
Okay.
Whiz wit out.
All right. Well, we have a lot
It's
of time
absolutely
to
crazy.
do
She was
Philly
vice
talk.
president, hasn't done anything. Everyone's had their own opinion, but this election should be very simple. Clapping TV respectfully, I think that you are like cognitively impaired. You don't even know what the vice president does. Respectfully. You might be like 14. You might have never taken a civics class, and that's okay. But I don't think you should be able to vote or have an opinion. I'm sorry Double XP weekend is up on Black Ops 6. I'm pissed too, but just go back to the game.
State of Florida, NBC News projects that Donald Trump will win Florida and take its 30 electoral votes.
He gets Florida. Oh, big Massachusetts get though.
Projected winner tonight
unexpected.
With 11 electoral votes. Donald Trump, the projected winner in Tennessee tonight. 11 electoral votes there. In the state of Maryland, NBC News projects that will go in the Kamala Harris column.
It's a weird early call for Florida.
The state of Missouri, NBC News projects that
he must
Donald
be ahead.
Trump is the victor in Missouri when all the votes are counted. Here's what Alabama looks like.
David's saying
state of Oklahoma.
David was saying North Carolina for Harris though.
And in D.C., District of Columbia, 3 electoral votes at stake. NBC News projects that Kamala Harris will win there. So where does it leave us now on the road to 270? Here it is, 90 for Trump right now, 27 for Harris.
DC went blue. Can you believe it?
The magic number and the keys.
Well, losing your rank in deadlock, but I haven't checked.
But we await calls in those.
I don't like this news. They're not saying news I like. Wait, David's also calling it Florida for Trump.
As well, who ran against
Fair enough.
Donald Trump in the primary. Donald Trump.
No one cares about Floridians anyways.
From his home state of Florida. That's what
they had Nick Merckx's endorsement. Of course, they were going to go red.
Trump also winning tonight, Tennessee, 11 electoral votes there. He won it in 2020, wins it again. Missouri, Donald Trump picks up 10 more electoral votes. Donald Trump wins the state of Alabama, 9 electoral votes from Alabama. In Oklahoma tonight, one of the most Republican states in the country, Donald Trump picks up another 7 electoral votes. Vice President Kamala Harris wins
it's
in
a red mirage.
Democratic state of Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes. Joe Biden, of course, won there handily by 33 points 4 years ago.
It's gotta be close, bro. It's gonna come down to it, man.
Tonight, 10 electoral votes there. We're going to be watching that Senate race very closely. The District of Columbia tonight, 3 electoral votes. The winner, Vice President Kamala Harris. In Illinois tonight, we're watching the raw numbers coming in. Obviously, too early.
Texas is in play.
The board. We'll go back to that. 19 electoral votes up for grab. New Jersey, not a winner yet, 14 electoral votes. The polls have just closed in Connecticut as well. They've closed in Mississippi. They've closed in Maine. And in New Hampshire, a lot of talk about New Hampshire in these recent days. Kamala Harris had held a commanding lead in some of the polls. As it got closer to Election Day, some of those polls tightened, so there'll be some interest in New Hampshire tonight.
Anyone got a link to the OG News Nation stream? No.
Votes up for grabs. In Delaware, 3 electoral votes up for grabs. They've just closed the polls there.
These graphics are going too fast and I can't read. I agree.
States in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump picking up 8 states tonight. As you can see, the electoral count right there on your screen. 27 to 90 on the race to 270.
This is scary. Bro, it's been scary all year. So I have been talking about this all year.
Rick Scott, the senator from Florida, will return to the Senate. He's been seeking a second term. He will return to the Senate.
I've been preparing us for this entire year.
Our coverage of the 2024
all right, there's a very good chance he does win. There's a very good chance. In fact, perhaps a better chance than her winning. We have to wrestle with that.
Right now, all across America, votes are being counted. Who will be your next president?
I pledge to be a president for all Americans.
Our country will be greater than ever before.
On this historic night,
Texas is flipping blue, really.
When we fight, we win.
Wait, imagine if motherfuckers hate Ted Cruz that much. That'd be so sick.
Oh boy, I hope nothing.
Literally voting Ted Cruz out would get the election for Kamala. That'd be so sick. Best possible outcome.
Polls in 25 states are now closed, including the
I'm saying, bro.
Pennsylvania at this hour. Vice President
Bro, I bought concealer the other day to like cover up something on my face while I was at the Ludwig event, and I didn't know how to use it, and like I just put like a shit ton of paint like on my cheek. I was like, how do you guys do this? I tried to wipe it off and it got all over my hands.
History again. Mary Bruce reporting in her last hour that the Harris campaign working to keep those voters in line in Pennsylvania, the all-important must-win state, really, for both campaigns. Let's get right to Lindsay.
Just blend
Davis.
it? How do you? What do you mean? Just blend it? What do you do?
Pennsylvania. So curious to hear what the voters are saying.
Of course, as is expected with the Keystone State, to the victor go the spoils, right? And so we're really paying attention to what happens here.
Need a beauty blender? I don't want to put my face in a blender.
Presidential elections, when Obama, then it went for Trump, then it went for Biden. It is up for grabs tonight. Look, so far with the independent vote, 24% of those who voted in Pennsylvania identify as independent voters. Highly coveted group here. So far, breaking toward
What do you mean
Donald
highly
Trump,
coveted group, bro?
50% of those independent voters
People will write independent and listen to Joe Rogan and Lex Fridman.
Donald Trump compared to 44%.
Am I holding the camera? What the hell is going on here?
About some significant turning points. There have been a number of them, obviously, in this election, okay? But let's start in particular here, Madison Square Garden just a few weeks ago. You have 580,000 registered Latino voters in the state of Pennsylvania, half of them Puerto Rican. There were those offensive comments that were made during Madison Square Garden, during that rally. Look at this, the Hispanic vote, 57%. Going for Kamala
I really
Harris.
don't think that his like the racist comments at his rally even matter, bro. Like everybody who knows he's racist already does. No one's like, oh shit.
Going for Kamala Harris
Oh wow, that was pretty racist.
For Donald Trump. Now she is underperforming slightly. Biden won 15%.
That's unexpected out of him.
In 2020. But here's where she's overperforming. Look at this. For the union voters, now 19% of those voters in Pennsylvania identified as part of the union, or they have a household member who's part of the union. 56% going for Kamala Harris. Trump
That's your boss, Brooke. Chill.
8 points from where he was in 2020.
Really interesting. But
do you think Barbarian King or Archer Queen is going to win the election? I don't know that joke, bro. It sounds like a nerd game.
Let's get right over to Rick Klein. Have any of the numbers come in on Pennsylvania yet?
Yeah, actually, we've heard from officials in Pittsburgh.
They call me the Nate shot of the left. Hunter, I moved to Pennsylvania 2 months ago and I hate it here. Did you vote multiple times?
But as expected, you're seeing Kamala Harris open up a bit of a lead there. That's where she needs to win. And of course, this part of the vote
Clash of Clans.
is almost all early by mail.
Don't play that game.
We expect her to be winning voters like this. So that's the first numbers we're seeing, and that accounts for all of the lead that we see right now. We're also seeing some very early numbers in Philadelphia, another place where Kamala Harris needs to run up big numbers, and of course she's doing that so far tonight. This is an interesting one.
I just can't think of anything gayer than voting for a man when there's a woman on the ballot. It blows my mind.
Doing slightly better. And the story in Pennsylvania, a little different than in some other states. This is the share of the electorate that was Democrat versus Republican in 2024. You see it was a 20-point edge. It was bigger last time around, but that amounts to a huge margin, a couple 100,000 votes that the Democrats almost certainly banked before Election Day, a relatively smaller share.
He's doing weirdly well in Ohio right now.
In Pennsylvania. So
when did Ohio stop becoming the swing state? I thought everybody always talked about Ohio, and then this year, like nobody talked about Ohio.
In Pennsylvania, that's
what's the deal with that?
It wasn't a huge margin going into today, but definitely a margin that they were glad to have for the Harris campaign.
2016, no, but even before 2016,
they said they would be
a big deal in 2012 and 2008 too.
Good batch of votes in already.
Sorry, I'm old.
Just give us that metric, that benchmark, where both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump need to be at this point in Allegheny County.
Sure, because you need to win in the cities if you're a Democrat.
It stopped being swing in 2016.
Kamala Harris needs to be getting almost 60% of the vote. Right now, she's well into the 70s.
But like JD Vance is from Ohio. There's no way they like that motherfucker.
Democrats have been the last couple election cycles when Hillary Clinton narrowly lost, Joe Biden narrowly won. Again, because this is the mail vote, it's the early by mail vote. It's going to trend a little more blue than this city, than this county is likely to land. But that's the trend we're seeing in a bunch of states tonight.
We'll come back to Pennsylvania in a moment. I don't want to leave
not when our extra votes come in.
North Carolina and Georgia, bring people up to speed here where we are in those battlegrounds.
Yeah, we're just starting to see some vote out of North Carolina. Only about 7% in right now. Greenville is one of the places that we have our eyes on. Kamala Harris right now running a little bit below Joe Biden. And
come on,
right
Mr. B, save it for Kamala Harris.
Also, this is the research triangle up in Orange County. That's the University of North Carolina. That's big for Kamala Harris, and it needs to be big for Kamala Harris. So when you look at a 50-point lead, remember that's about what she needs to be doing in that county. And then in Georgia, look, we're seeing a good amount of the vote in now, a little bit more than a third, and the first numbers are coming in now from the Atlanta metro area, Fulton County.
All right, this is where our boost comes in.
Vote. This is going to be
Cobb went back to gray, no longer red.
And we can see Harris opening up a very big lead.
Athens still isn't called either.
We've seen so far. Maybe more interesting than that, though, is going to be counties like Fayette. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the night. Kamala Harris is down narrowly there, but look at what happened the last couple of election cycles there. Hillary Clinton was getting less than 40% of the vote. Joe Biden's number jumps up to 45. Harris's number is now.
Well, the good thing is we live in a really cool system where everybody's vote matters.
Keep Georgia in that column. The inverse of that is some of the redder counties up around a little bit further outside Atlanta. Cherokee County, Donald Trump netting 50,000 votes so far. That, again, comports almost exactly with the 538 average. So he is no doubt hitting his marks in some more rural areas, running up big numbers, and we're seeing her perform pretty well in some major cities.
He is hitting his mark with uneducated white people.
Can you show us the metric with the circles of it so we get a sense in Georgia, at
for
least
him.
at this hour, where we got to
really
get vote?
big, yeah.
This is really telling. Everyone at home should take a look at this. It just shows you that Atlanta metro area, which looms so large, that just gives you an idea of the percentage of the vote that still has to come in.
Really helpful imagery there, David. Thank you. Blue circle. She can get votes in this area, maybe.
But again, as Rick points out, a lot of this comes from the rural counties where Donald Trump is performing at the benchmark where he needs to be in order to
Texas is blue. Rick keeps telling me Texas is blue, and David hasn't brought it up once. So
11,000 votes.
Don't know if I believe you.
Of course, President Trump would like to take that victory this time around. Back to Pennsylvania because it is 8 o'clock here in the East. 10 minutes past 8 o'clock. The Keystone State. The polls have just closed there. I want to get to Matt Gutman. Matt,
Texas
what are you
being
hearing
blue
on the
would be
ground
so
as far as
insane.
campaigns and what they made of the turnout they saw today?
I think they're going to be pretty pleased by the numbers that Rick just talked about in Allegheny County and specifically in Philadelphia. Maybe the early mail-in ballot might even it out some, but they really need to be making those
Texas and Florida are going blue, but they already called Florida.
The places where they
Shut the fuck up, bro. Oof, JPEG, thank you, man.
From the more rural counties here, so they are going to be pleased by that. But one of the things that we are seeing, David, are these very long lines.
Texas isn't blue. I live in Texas, and it's dark outside. It's not blue. I don't get people are calling it blue.
Counties, and one of them, Northampton County, they're looking at 7-hour waits to vote. Polling machines went down there. An election official in nearby Lackawanna County or Luzerne County didn't show up for an hour and a half.
You're just making up counties, bro. I've never heard of these places in my life.
They extended the vote there. One of the things that
Lackawanna County, Gibbeldorf County.
For well over about 2 weeks, they're concerned about the threat environment here. There have been a lot of threats, and one of the major things that they think that the electorate forgets is the human factor. There are human beings who are running these machines, who are running these polling stations, and they want people to remember that there will be times that somebody forgets to plug in the machine or doesn't turn on the lights outside.
I hate stupid people.
And that doesn't mean that there is conspiracy, and it doesn't mean that there is fraud, but already the Trump campaign jumping back on that, telling or making allegations on Twitter
gets her news here.
that there has been fraud here in Philadelphia, specifically something that the DA has said is just not
There's a reason why our generation is
Governor
fucked.
Josh Shapiro has been telling me for days that the allegations of fraud, a blatant lie, he says, David.
Why does this guy look AI?
Pennsylvania tonight for us, Matt.
Because their brains are broken.
I do want to call another state here for Donald Trump, South Carolina. We can announce ABC News projecting at this hour.
Shocker.
Donald Trump wins the state of South Carolina, 9 electoral votes. In the state
I'm
of
just kind
South
of
Carolina,
gagging Kamala right now.
he won by 12 points
This was expected, though.
It was expected that he would win again this time.
It's
And
all
he has
everything that's happened so far
the
has been
state of South
expected.
Carolina. What more do we know about Pennsylvania, Rick? Anything more coming in?
We haven't seen much new yet, but we're starting to see it begin to roll in. I've been keeping an eye on this. This is a state that actually votes mostly on election.
Pennsylvania
day,
is going to be the important one, bro.
For the most part. But as what we've seen so far of the early vote, it is overwhelmingly Kamala Harris, a 50-point margin. And again, this is an area where a state where the
She can lose North Carolina and Georgia and be fine with like Pennsylvania and Michigan.
Rick Klein, thanks over at the big board. We're coming back to Rick in just a moment. We have another race we we can call tonight. This comes from North Carolina, not the presidential race, but the race for governor in that state. Roy Cooper, obviously, he's term limited. The Democrat, Josh Stein, the attorney general in that state.
Oh, Jill Stein's brother.
The governor of North Carolina. Josh Stein beats Mark Robinson, lieutenant governor. He was the Republican. He'd been endorsed by Donald Trump, Donald Trump. When asked about Mark Robinson,
that's
and the
good news, though.
CNN about some of the things that Mark Robinson had called himself and the websites that he had frequented, Donald Trump said, I don't know much. I haven't heard about that guy or heard about that race. I'm not really watching it.
Yeah, before that, he called him Martin Luther King on steroids and campaigned with him. But once that story came out,
no, the Gooner governor lost
and made it clear he wanted nothing to do with him.
Now, as far as the presidential race in that state, you know, I'm sure the Harris campaign is hoping for some of the wind from Josh Stein's win.
The black Nazi Gooner governor.
Because there was such a scandal on the other side with the governor's race, it wasn't expected to carry across the
No,
finish
not
line
Haley Joel Osment. Mark Robinson.
It kind of took the governor's race completely out of the picture. And what you count on when you are trying to win as a team is you need to get a big force out there. Democrats needing to get the votes out to win the governor's race.
He's probably available for Fortnite Friday. True.
The governor's race was a non-factor. But look, Democrats think North Carolina was clearly the best chance to pick up a state that Donald Trump had won in 2020.
So let's take it, John, right over to Rachel Scott, because you've covered North Carolina. You were there.
RFK Jr. got any states yet? No.
And this is this whole notion of split tickets and whether or not Josh Stein and this.
I'm from accounting. Thanks for the sub, bro.
If that'll help bring Kamala Harris to the finish line.
Can we get 50 subs before I have to go soon?
Became a little concerned about.
Yeah, again, in a state that Donald Trump won twice, both in 2016 and in 2020, the only battleground state where he's on defense tonight. David, I want to show you, just zooming in here on Greenville. This is Pitt County, and we have this.
But you have to go. Don't worry about it.
You can see how the gubernatorial candidates were doing here compared to the presidential candidates. So you can see in this county.
Yo, Winston-Salem.
Greenville, Vice President
no way that goes red, bro. Those are Overwatch players there.
Look at where Stein is, the Democrat, 59, running ahead of Vice President Kamala Harris compared to Robinson, who was just at 37. Let's take a look at what this looks like statewide, David. You could see here, this is exactly why Stein pulling ahead here, performing better than Donald Trump in this state, the state that Donald Trump won twice. This is exactly why former President Donald Trump was not even campaigning with Robinson in the state after all that controversy came to light.
And while we have you there, let's look at the presidential race where it stands at this hour in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Greetings.
So we just checked Greenville. Let's go back to it, the county of Pitt here. Let's see how Vice President Kamala Harris is doing compared to President Biden. He was at 54%. She's at 52%. You have 75% of the vote in. Let's check the benchmark.
Move forward. Thank you for the prime, bro.
All right, so a little bit of ways to go here. Our 538 benchmark has her at 54.
Asana's you beat by like 240,000 viewers, really.
Research triangle over here. Raleigh,
disappointing.
Durham. Let's take a look at Orange County. 86% of the vote
Next
in.
Orange
Vice
County.
President Kamala Harris at 75. Donald Trump at 20. Let's take a look at the benchmark, performing about right where she needs to be.
Weren't they canceled?
Interesting. All right, we're going to continue to watch North Carolina. Lindsay, you've got some exit polls from North Carolina. What are the voters saying there?
Sure do. And I think that there are a few things worth pointing out in North Carolina. 1/5 of the population actually lives in an area that was devastated by Hurricane Helene. There are a number of headlines that basically say there are a number of people who lost their homes, lost their possessions, but they are still turning out to vote and make their voices heard. Another thing that's significant, North Carolina is
guy who blames the hurricane that blew up his home on Kamala Harris.
Of black population. 22% of the electorate is black. It's also home to the Research Triangle, so you have a number of college graduates.
Yes, Amela, thank you for the prime.
That's where we'll begin with the white college grads. 31% of the electorate there.
And Casey Wasey, thank you.
Graduating from college, and they are breaking, no surprise there, for Kamala Harris, 52%. So more than half of those college grads going for Donald Trump, going for Kamala Harris. Versus,
I'm feeling pretty good about North Carolina, bro.
Donald Trump losing. He's down. Again, this is preliminary. These numbers will change. But what we have right now, he has lost 3 percentage points with those with college degrees in the state of North Carolina from where he was in 2020. Now, as for whites with no college, again, no surprise here. Donald Trump almost getting 3/4 of that population.
White people with no college.
Again, whites with no college in North Carolina account for about 38%
Who would have
of the
thought?
electorate. Now, look at this. Harris really taking some strides.
Wait, let's
from where
go.
Biden was in 2020. She's up 6 points.
She took 6
with
points from the
those whites
dumbasses.
with no college degree. So very significant, something that they can celebrate.
Holy
According
shit.
to the exit polls, we got to see if it bears out in the actual votes over on the map. And we're tracking North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Georgia at this hour. New data coming in, and we're going to get right back to the board.
New data.
Right after this. ABC News.
No, David, don't do that.
Continues right here in a moment. Don't go away.
Is that Chris Christie? What the hell is he doing in there? Why is he like looking at the numbers like he knows shit?
Continues in a moment.
Who invited him to the fucking room?
Vote it 7 times. Let's steal this thing.
I would vote for David. Connor, I'm voting for Trump and I don't have a college degree. That's awesome, man.
In Cobb County, we have 57% of the vote
Ooh,
in.
yo, wait a minute.
This is actually, Cobb County tells the story of the Atlanta.
They got my ballot.
Newt Gingrich represented Cobb County. And look how Democrats have been able to run up the score. From Romney in 2012, Clinton flips it, and look how they're growing the margins. And tonight, that's exactly what Kamala Harris is doing. She's growing the margins in Cobb County. Let's go around. Let's see what we have in Fulton. Fulton, 53%. Let's see
that's my impact, bro.
Biden, 72. She's holding her own around the Atlanta metro
Convex,
region.
thank you.
Let's see over here. Gwinnett, we only have about 1% in. Not really worth a discussion there. Clayton County, 70%.
Bro, I'm so much more important than people whose vote, whose like ballots don't matter.
Henry County, 1% in. This is one of those swing counties we can talk about. You know, 1% in. I don't know how much we're going to be able to say there. Rockdale County, again, those Atlanta suburbs, 77% of the vote in. She's overperforming there. Okay, that's Harris. That's a Democrat.
She's coming back.
Rural regions.
She's like the Falcons, but the other way around.
78 in 2020. He's at 78 right now. You can see he's holding his marks. Union County, a little bit lower, but again, he's around the 80% mark where he should be. And
Joe Butts County. Again, that one, there's a county called Butts. That one's funny.
Counties with lots of African American boners. Here in Doherty,
he's African American boners, bro. Whoa, bro, what did you just say?
What I'm trying to say here is that right now.
Yeah, no, what are you trying to say, bro?
2020, Trump seems to be hitting his marks where he was in the rural
counties,
in those African American counties and around the Atlanta
this is why I stick to ABC News, man.
It's going to be very close. It's one of the reasons why when we click on Georgia right here, it is literally just too close to call.
He said boners.
Tom, we got a lot ahead here. We're going to take a break and then another state closing its polls. Which candidate will it bring closer to those crucial 270 electoral college
Oh, wow.
votes?
I wonder which way Arkansas will go. NBC. Jesus Christ. Why do you even make it news? I keep showing the stream instead of the other thing. The blue wall will hold in everybody's favorite blue state of Arkansas. Come back, David.
Just opens my heart up again.
Welcome to the Golden Bachelorette.
Dude, this is so funny to me. The idea of like older bachelor and bachelorette.
It's a turning point in my life.
Isn't the Honey Boo Boo family also from Georgia? Pretty much every TLC reality star from 2013 to 2019 is from Georgia.
David Muir.
We're so glad you're with us here on ABC News. You're looking live at the tracker of the battleground states tonight. As you can see, the key state of Georgia won by President Biden 4 years ago by just about 11,000 votes. Donald Trump leading Kamala Harris by about 10 points there. Again,
but she's coming back.
Counties of the Atlanta metro area. We're waiting for a significant amount of the vote to come in.
My
North
friend
Carolina
Gavin
at
is
this
watching
hour.
the
Kamala
stream.
Harris
Can you
with the
say
lead. Again,
hi?
it's still early, and this is a reflection in large part of the early vote. And Rick Klein standing by in a moment.
4K across Twitch, YouTube, and Twitch. I gotta go somewhat soon, but honestly, this is turning in a better direction than it was.
Campaign trying to keep Harris voters
I told you this would happen.
To get their voice heard. Kamala Harris taking the early lead there in Pennsylvania.
Hey
Again,
Connor, I
very
thought
early
your
in the night in these
opinion of
states,
the
but we
movie
are
Civil
getting more
War
data
was a
in from
really
North
bad
Carolina, Rick,
opinion, and
what
I
does it
would
tell us?
like you to.
My opinion on the movie Civil War. I just thought it was shit. I thought it's tone deaf in today's
And you can see
climate
she's leading by about 9 points among early
to make a
voters. That's the
movie
margins
about
that she's
a
racking
modern
up.
civil
One of the
war
counties
that
we have a lot
wasn't
of information
commentary on the
Orange County,
absurdity of
UNC is
our
the college
politics.
town. That is going
It was instead
very,
a
very
commentary
blue for
on
Kamala Harris,
and a
but
look
she's
at
just about
journalism.
hitting that 538 benchmark,
I don't
just
think it
about
really
doing what
said
she needs to
anything
do in that
important.
county.
Rick Klein, we're at the big board tracking North Carolina. We're going to get new data in from Pennsylvania in a moment. We'll go back to Georgia as well.
Also, like, the movie was boring as fuck until like Jesse Plemons shows up for like one scene.
A lot of numbers just coming in these key battleground states. We'll see in just a couple of minutes here. Stay tuned. Don't go away.
It's not a commentary what a civil war would look like in modern America. It's not that at all. It doesn't make any sense. It's not realistic in any way. It says nothing about the politics of anybody.
If Trump wins, I'm killing myself.
You forgot your Kappa emote, Caden. Forgot your Kappa. Don't kill yourself if Trump wins. That's what he wants. That is quite literally what he wants. You have to prove him wrong. On the other hand, if Kamala wins and your name is Elon Musk, you should do it in game. Kappa. That was a joke. David, come back. Yeah, Elon Musk is apparently a top 20 Diablo 4 player in the world, and he tweets like 80,000 times a day. And like, we're supposed to give a fuck about who he wants to be the president.
I'm the detective and you are the consultant.
Like, I don't get how like the Aiden Ross collab and like the Elon Musk endorsement don't hurt the guy. Like, why is this not energizing people to come and vote the other way? Like, we hate these people.
Still think my theory's flimsy? That big brain of hers is gonna help us close out a lot of cases. I'm just out here super copping.
Turn on Fox.
High Potential, all new next Tuesday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
And good evening, everyone.
Where'd David go?
Watching ABC
They feminized David.
The race to the White House. Our election coverage is well underway. Polls already closing in some key states, including crucial battleground Pennsylvania. We are seeing results come in from several states now. Let's take a look at some of the major ones.
Kamala's
ABC
agenda.
News now projecting Trump will win South Carolina,
Shocker.
Florida, and West Virginia.
Shocker.
ABC News also projecting Harris wins Maryland, Massachusetts, and D.C. Now to the nationwide numbers. With 13% of the vote in, Trump in the lead with about 53% reporting. Of course, this is on the road to 270. Now to our Jay O'Brien. He is
Run our way.
outside Palm Beach County Convention Center in Florida, where former President Trump's watch party is taking place. Jay, what's the feeling there?
Yeah, Kira, there is this sense of optimism here. There is this sense that the night is early and that there are votes to still be counted in must-win states, particularly Pennsylvania.
Where the fuck did David go, bro? That was the whole reason I waited for your stupid-ass commercial break.
Incumbent mood here. So this is to be expected, from some of these campaign officials, Austin, going into election night. They want to
Hi, Judge.
An intensity of looking at Wisconsin.
A critical, if not the critical voting bloc in this election. And,
Love
Hallie, you
stealing
pointed out
elections,
that
folded
according to the exit
hands.
polls, it's 53% of the electorate. In 2020, it was
It's the worst chat ever. I've seen worse. You should have seen this chat while I was playing like Mario Party the other day
If Kamala Harris drives up her
at the Ludwig event.
her results among women, in these close contests like Georgia and Pennsylvania, like that could be a deciding factor.
You know, I can't believe we haven't actually talked about it yet tonight. Reproductive rights. This is the first presidential election.
No fun left. Thanks for the sub, bro.
Decision that overturned Roe versus Wade. We've seen the potency of that issue. Abortion rights measures have passed every time they've been on the ballot since the Dobbs decision, but we haven't yet had a presidential election. Do you
Connor,
think
you
that
fuck with
issue
Northern
still has
Lion?
its
Heavy.
potency and is a
Why doesn't
weak
everybody
spot
just
for
agree? I don't know, bro. All right, guys, I do gotta go.
Potency for sure.
I do gotta
It
go. I
definitely
can't stay.
cuts both ways.
Gotta get going. I gotta clean up, and I gotta go.
10% of the electorate.
Sorry,
on both
I
sides of the issue.
can't
for whom
stay.
that is the
I will
most
raid
important
Hassan,
issue.
and you guys can
But
influence
there's
his
no question
politics in
among
a
younger voters,
in a
especially
positive
younger
way.
women, that's an issue.
I'm
that is
sorry, I can't
driving
stay
them
tonight.
out.
Leave the stream on, nah,
And
bro.
so the question is,
I'm not just gonna
really,
leave it
Is
on.
that the main issue they're voting on, or is that one?
Ending
of
at
the main
2.3K is crazy. It is, but I got
And
plans.
I
Sorry.
think, frankly, when we look at this, if Kamala Harris wins the presidency,
If for whatever reason
we're
I'm
gonna
back
talk a lot
early,
about what
I'll
got
I'll
her
go
here,
back live.
but
Maybe
I
we'll
don't
see.
think we should ignore the fact that college students.
You want
are
us to
playing
die,
a
bro? I'll
big
be
role
live.
today.
Maybe tomorrow. If not, I'll be live
At
Thursday.
college campuses right now, whether you're in North Carolina
Give us a
or
weird policy to
Pennsylvania
spam
or
him with.
Wisconsin or Nevada,
I don't know. Be
on
like,
the ground. I've talked to the team that's running
I
the
don't know.
ground game.
Do
in all
whatever.
of
Do
these
whatever you
states.
want, bro.
They
I don't
have
care.
Never seen this kind of response on
Have
college
a great
campuses.
evening,
So
everyone.
We may have a divide there between kids in college that are
Goodbye,
voting
good
age and kids
evening,
who aren't in college.
and good night.
Is that playing out just in
Pray.
states or across all states?
Thanks for the sub, bro. Thanks for the sub.
They're exceedingly